I decided to give my team here a little lecture on the 1948 election of Harry Truman. And here they are, all experts and full of understanding on these matters. And so, wait a minute now, where'd the little guy go? Alright, who wants to ride out the dinosaur, huh? Yeah, okay. That's dinosaurs for you anyway. Now, 1948, Harry Truman had been president for about 4 years because Franklin Roosevelt died 89 days into his 4th term. And the war was almost over, and Harry Truman finished the war, and he decided to run for election. Now at that time, politics was becoming a right-wing, was calling the Democrats traitors, spies, communists. And they were doing that. They started off kind of easy, and they got louder and louder and more accusatory and shrieking. And there was a phenomenon going on. Television was just beginning to show up, and it was giving the newspapers a real hard time. And one of the reasons this kind of noise making made so much sense is that the newspaper is trying to keep their audience instead of having them all move to television. And ultimately, 3 of the 4 Washington papers did go bankrupt because of television. But not yet. So everybody was agreed that Harry Truman did not have a chance of winning that election. Everybody but him. And there was barely 100% prediction by the newspaper business, which was the main media then. Well, it wasn't going to be much longer. And they went on with a hoarse shriek all through the whole election. Harry Truman took train, made speeches from back of the Pullman, the caboose car, and talked about no good, do nothing, hideous Congress. And the predictions were 100% he's going to lose. So I remember I listened to the election returns, which was on radio. Television didn't amount to anything at that time. And they start off 8 or 9 o'clock or something like that. And they're saying, well, Mr. Truman's going to lose, of course. But the first returns in, and Truman was leading a bit. And this went on hour after hour. 8, 9, 10. And 11, 12, 13, 1, 2 a.m. And by this time it become when the California returns come in, then Mr. Truman will lose out, and Mr. Dewey, he was the governor of New York, and in those days, governor of New York pretty inevitably ran for president. And now it's Florida or Texas or California, but then it was New York. So when the returns from California start coming in, Mr. Dewey will pull ahead. Well, it was 4 a.m. before they finally said, well, no returns coming from California for Dewey. And Harry Truman won the election. Next day, Truman got to hold up a Chicago newspaper. It had 6-inch high letters said, Dewey wins. They had to publish the paper for the new final answer, and they assumed that it was going to be Dewey. Harry Truman had a big time holding up in front of the TV cameras, which were not around very much, but there were some. And the newsreels, too. He's got the newsreels in the movies. It was film. In fact, I think TV was filmed then, too. They'd go out with film and show it on TV. They didn't have video recorders. So, the newspapers are almost 100% wrong. Almost 100%. There were two, I think, small town newspapers, one in the deep south and one out west, that predicted Truman would win, but that was all. Every other big deal country in the country said Dewey was going to win. So the stuff you hear may not be very reliable.